Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 8 of our 21-day journey. It's Sahaja Yoga meditation. I'm Kerry Hodson, and it's my pleasure to be with you, join you from San Francisco. I'd like to just remind you at this time to get your foot soak ready and your ice pack. And if you're brand new tonight and you want to catch up, you can always watch the recordings of all the sessions so far on our website. Or at the end, you can request to work with a Sahaja Yoga teacher in the breakout room. Just ask for that in the chat. So just a review of yesterday, we focused on how we feel in our hands and inside, and how to give bandhans to clear the chakras. So today we'll work on our right side, and we're going to be working with ice to cooling down the right channel. And we'll use some other techniques with our meditation guides. So look forward to that. So I hope you have your ice pack ready. You can use different types of ice that was shown on the slide. You can use even just a baggie with ice cubes in it is sufficient. You might want to wrap that in a towel if you do so. So tonight we're going to have two guests tonight presenting, Mark Mays and Sia Reddy. And so we're going to have music. We're going to have two meditations with them. And then we'll watch a video of Shri Mataji, of course, and so along with the live music. So then at the end of the program, you can either leave if you need to, but please stick around and join us as our yogi presenters will share their experiences with these techniques. And you can also, at the end of the program, if you'd like, spend some time in the breakout room with a Sahaja Yoga teacher to kind of, answer some of your personal questions, or if you just want to deepen in your experience, if you are having a challenge feeling anything like that, you can use the breakout room to do that. So tonight's program will be, the main part of the program will be about an hour long. And then, if you need to leave, you can. But please avail yourself of the breakout room and speak with a Sahaja Yoga teacher. It's really helps you deepen in your experience. So at this time, I'm happy to be with my friends here, Sia Reddy from Austin, Texas, and Mark Mays from Seattle. Sia and Mark, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourselves? Oops, a little louder. Oh, okay. It's on mute. Oh,
yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now you're good. All right, so let us know a little bit about yourselves and maybe how long you've been practicing and what you do when you're not meditating.
Mark, you want to start?
Okay. Yeah. So I received my self-realization in Seattle back in 1992. And it's been a great experience ever since. Happy to be here with everyone and sharing these experiences and helping people work through this first stages of establishing the meditation. And I live out very close to the Canadian border in a city called Bellingham. And within about 5 miles, we have at least a dozen trails. We've got a bike ride we can take to a waterfall that's about 4 miles. And I've always, since I was a child, loved the nature. My parents used to take me camping a lot. I used to do backpacking. And so I really enjoy the nature. And not just because it's there, but I think since getting my self-realization, it's kind of opened up a different view of the nature. And I really have a heartfelt connection that wasn't there before. And to me, one of the best clearing techniques is just to go out in the nature and enjoy it.
Great. It sounds like you're out in the enchanted forest up there. That's wonderful. Just before Sia introduces herself a little bit, I just wanted to remind everyone that we're recording the session tonight. And it's always free. Sahaja Yoga is always free. So just a couple of reminders. Okay, Sia, how about you?
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Sia. I've been here before. I'm currently living in Austin, Texas. We've been moving around a bit. I'm originally from Austria, German speaking, and you'll see some very nice Austrian nature photos a little later when I do some music. So, Mark, you're going to enjoy this. You like nature, and you're going to get some
Absolutely.
nice snowy mountains. And they were made by my brother, by my own brother, who goes out there and enjoys the mountains just like you do, and shot these beautiful pics for us. Otherwise, I'm doing music. I'm a mom of 3 teenagers, and in Sahaja Yoga, I had the opportunity to do a couple of things, including work with children. So we've done a CD called Meditation and Play, and a lot of little kiddies are meditating to this CD. So that was a lot of fun. We've done musicals, we've done all sorts of things. So yeah.
Great. Yeah, you're always super creative, and we're really happy to be with you. And Sia's going to really take us through a beautiful musical journey tonight. So, so with that, we'll go ahead and hand it over to Mark Mays, who will be taking us through with our foot soak and our ice treatment. So, Mark.
Okay, thank you, Kerry. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and start with the foot soak tonight. So let's all begin by raising our Kundalini. And for those of you, this is your first time tonight, just follow along as best you can. So we're going to start out with our left hand in front of us, and we're going to move it away from our body outwards. And we're going to bring this up to the top of our head once. And then we're going to do this a second time. And then we're going to tie the knot twice. And then a third time. And after a while, we'll start to feel, when we do this, we'll start to feel this Kundalini energy come up. And when it comes up, we're going to do something called a bandhan. And so this takes that Kundalini energy and kind of smooths it around ourselves. So we're going to start over on the left-hand side with our right hand, and we're going to go across top of our head once and back over. Okay, that's one time. Over and back again, twice. Over and back again 3 times. And then 4 times. 5th time. 6. And then finished. So after we do this, we now have this energy up to the top of our head. We've surrounded ourselves with it. And now we're going to take some of that energy, we're going to offer it to the foot soak. So we're going to do like a bandhan, move our hand in a clockwise direction over the top of our foot soak bucket. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and place our feet inside the bucket. And now we're just going to settle in a little bit before we get to the ice pack treatment. So let's just, again, raise our energy up to the top of our head a couple of times. And we can also combine this with some deep breaths. So as we go up, we can take in a breath through our nose. Exhale through the mouth, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. So let's just close our eyes just for a few moments, keeping the tension at the top or just above the top of our head. And just try and settle our attention a little bit. Okay, so working on our right side, and a lot of you may be asking, so how do I know if I need to work on my right side? And some of the things that are surefire indicators are if we're feeling a little bit uh, irritable, if we're having fractured attention. A lot of times, people are into like multitasking, which I think has pretty much been proved to more of a myth than reality. And so, also in extreme cases, we might become a little bit angry, or we let like some little things, bother us maybe more than they should. So these are some indicators. Thinking, too much planning. Some are real planners. I have a tendency to do that. And I think one of my favorite expressions about planning is there's this one joke. If you want to make God laugh, just tell him your plans, right? And I think it's okay to do some level of planning. The main thing is we shouldn't get attached to our plans. I know a lot of times when my plans have gone awry, some of the best things happened alternatively to what I had planned. So it's okay to do some level of planning, some level of thinking. We have to do that for our jobs and life in general. But when we start getting to be, like I said, this sort of irritable and edgy and fractured attention, that sort of thing. And I don't know, Sia, maybe you can help me out a little bit. I've been hearing that this program tonight is a real hot topic.
Yeah, talking about the liver, right? We have a saying in German where we say something ran across your liver, which means something really irritated you. It's just funny how sometimes
Yeah,
it's in the language, and how did they know that this settles there?
and how about your internet problem? I heard you were pretty steamed about
Well, it all cooled down, it all calmed down,
that.
luckily.
Yeah, we have too many hotheads in the tech industry, don't we?
Truly.
So anyway, the purpose that we have in some of this little dialogue we're talking about here is that, even conventional wisdom assesses things like heat is associated with things that are bad or not good for us, like being hot-headed, being steamed, that sort of thing. And whereas, somebody wants you to feel better, say, take a chill pill, or chill out, or wow, last night we were just really chilling, or whatever it is. So the heat is associated with things that are extreme, and whereas the coolness are like the solution. And it's no different with Sahaja Yoga in that regard, although we do use things a little bit differently. So let's go ahead and let's break out the ice pack. We have alternatives. I'm going to start with my favorite. So what I like about this one, let's see if I can get this the right angle. It's very thin. It's like maybe 3/4 of an inch or so, and it's reasonably compact. And this is kind of one of my favorite pieces because it's easy to like tuck inside the belt. I can just tuck in my shirt, put it in the belt, and it's right there. And what we're trying to go for is the liver, because the liver is our tension. It processes a lot of our the fat in our diet and turns it into energy. And so it just starts just below the rib cage on the right hand side and goes down to just above below where the trunk of our body and our leg meets together. So it's right in this area right here. And the other thing is, if like I have it tucked against my shirt, but if you are putting it underneath your shirt or a blouse, um, we should always cover it. Like one option is a paper towel, like I have here, and then we can just go, underneath the shirt, tuck down. Um, we can also go with a cloth, like a small cloth. One advantage to using the cloth is it's not quite so shocking. But you definitely don't want to take the ice pack directly onto the skin. And what's nice about this is it's not so shocking when you first put it on because it's a little bit thicker, but you will feel the full effect. The cold will eventually make its way through. So this is a good option, and especially if we're going to use the ice pack and our hand for going around different places. Other alternatives, we have these water bottles, which we can also, like they screw off the top, and then we can put ice into the bag. I often take these like on business trips because almost all the hotels have ice on each floor, so I can go and get some ice, and it's a very nice compact way to take it along on a trip. I'd say lastly, probably the least desirable is like a Ziploc bag. If that's all you have on hand, they can be used. I recommend using a new one when you do it. So they do tend to leak, even the new ones. And keep it upright. Keep the top upright. They do tend to leak a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our ice pack, and we're going to start with it on our liver. Okay, so we're going to just tuck this down at our waist. Some might need to hike the waistband up a little bit, and just keep it right there for a moment. So one of the things that also is disturbing to the liver in terms of our right side is worry. So worry is a very common thing, especially on the right side when we worry about like money or family. It can be disturbing to this side, and it can make us more irritable, like when we're out of balance, and um, and maybe react far too easy. So there isn't a single problem that worry has ever solved. So the best is to just, surrender these problems. I know many of you are still waiting to feel the full experience of the Kundalini and whatnot, but at some point, when this Kundalini starts coming up, we can just surrender these problems to the divine, because it really it connects us to this all-pervading power, this creative energy and it is amazing. And every Sahaja Yogi I know has had experiences where at the moment of surrendering that problem, letting go of the worry that accomplishes absolutely nothing, that all of a sudden the solution to the problem came instantly. And I've experienced it dozens and dozens of times. And it's really by getting our right side in balance, the Kundalini can come up better and stronger. And it's just amazing what can happen. There's one other technique I found effective. This happened on one of the Indian tours in India. There's a lot of things on the tour, like a lot of little things that could maybe stress you out too much, and really they're just like little things. But in that environment, you're traveling and this sort of thing, but also the vibrations are really flowing as well. And I remember, you know, voicing one of these complaints to the tour leader, the great gregarious Nigel, and he looked at me and says, Mark, doesn't matter. And I started to respond, and all of a sudden I realized he was right. A lot of these complaints we have, they're out of our control. They already took place. We don't need to worry about it anymore. And all they do is they steal our joy from us. And I really found it, when we can say it and really feel it, not just mentally say it doesn't matter, but really, for me, when I reach that point of frustration, doesn't matter. And at that point, I feel that surrender and I feel that detachment. And so it's one of those things that works for me. And you'll need to see what works for you. But I'd really like to just take a moment, and especially with the right side clearing, as we just try and feel that. Feel the worry slipping away. Feel the stress. Let's just keep the tension at the top of our head. Feel that cooling impact on our liver. We can raise the attention to the top of our head, the Kundalini, and just feel the worry slipping away. No thinking, no thoughts. And if the thoughts come, doesn't matter. Let them come, we'll just increase the space between. Nothing's going to get us into worry mode, not even the thoughts. Let's open our eyes a little bit. There's another place that we can use the eyes. I know sometimes for me, uh, when I am thinking too much, I'm having difficulty stopping those thoughts because I do tend to be a little bit more right-sided. It feels to me like when the Kundalini comes up and this sixth chakra, this Agya chakra, it feels like I'm wearing a hat that's about 2 or 3 sizes too small. I feel this pressure band across my head. And sometimes what can be helpful is I'll take the ice pack and just put it on the forehead. And you don't want to put it there too long, maybe, you know, a minute or so. We're going to give ourselves a brain freeze, but I found that this can be helpful to just cool off that Agya chakra a little bit. Another spot as well, if we're having a lot of ego reactions, our ego comes up the right side, crosses at the optic chiasm over to the left side. So we can put just above the ear, we can put our ice pack here as well. And this will help us to cool our right side, cool down our ego a little bit. Okay, we can bring down our ice pack. keep our attention at the top of our head. Let's raise our Kundalini energy to the top of our head, starting at the base of our spine. Okay, we can open our eyes. So the ice pack makes a nice complement to a cool foot soak for some right side treatment. A cool foot soak and some ice is a good way to settle our right side down. I find that doing this before I go to bed at night is really, really great. I'm asleep in minutes. It's really nice thing to do before we go to bed at night. So let's go ahead and rinse our feet. And towel off to dry our feet. And we can just set the foot soak bucket aside for now, and we can dump it into the toilet later. And let's go ahead and just raise our Kundalini energy at the end here. Now we can just remain in this meditative state while we watch a video of Shri Mataji. So this is a third segment of the Washington, D.C. 1999 public program that Shri Mataji did. We watched two segments of the same program the previous two nights. And so we're going to go up and queue up a third segment from the same program.
On your fingertips, you can feel the centers of other person. If something is fishy, you can feel it. If somebody is cheating you, you can feel it. Everything. Your fingers speak. This is what Muhammad Sahib has said. At the time of resurrection, your hands will speak clearly. How can hands speak? This is how, because all these 5 fingers are the centers, 6th and 7th center. One on the physical side, another on the physical and also mental side is the right side, and the emotional side on the left side. These are 2 different systems within us which people are not understanding, that there are 2 channels within us. What we call as the autonomous nervous system has got parasympathetic nervous system in the center, but there are 2 left and right sympathetic nervous systems. And these are the 2 systems. that are enlightened on your fingertips, by which you know exactly what is wrong with you, what centers you are catching. That is self-knowledge. People will go mad, but they will not know they are getting mad. They will have cancer, they will not know they are having cancer. This indication tells you exactly what's wrong with you. Now, if you know how to correct your centers, you can correct the centers of others also. Then also, there's another achievement is that you become collectively conscious. Means you can feel others on your fingertips. You can feel others on your fingertips. Who is the other? That's what we think. But nobody is the other. We are part and parcel of one spiritual personality. And once somebody has problem, we immediately know there's a problem. Because on the fingertips you can feel it. This is true knowledge. It's not some sort of reading a book or some sort of a thing. But it's a true knowledge within yourself, which you know yourself, which we call as cognitive science, which works within yourself. You don't have to go out to read anything, to understand anything. Your own being itself is a complete computer, I should say, which tells you what's what, who is what. We have no idea as to what we are. We have not been given any idea as to what potential we have. It's tremendous, it is. It is tremendous. And if it works, it will work for you, for your family, for your children, for your city, for your nation, and for the whole world. So this has to become a collective understanding within yourself, not mentally. Mental understanding is just temporary and passes on. But it's an actualization, again and again I say, it's the actualization of the knowledge within yourself. Then they talk only of that. They talk in the words of chakras, of the centers. That person is this, that person has got this, I have got this. Now, on your fingertips, which gives you a perfect answer for everything. Then it looks after you, it protects you, it guides you, as I told you, and guides you in the right way, in the right manner. And how it achieves things is wonderful. So we have to first and foremost understand that we have to have that spatial personality of a self-realized personality, which will really help and care for others. It's not just talking, it's not just reading, it's not just following some false guru, but it is following yourself, which is to show that you are your own master. You become your master and you know everything about everything. This is the potential in all of you. As I said, it is not only for few people, it's not for only black-white people, but it's also meant for people who are uneducated, who are living in the villages, who are very simple people. It works for all of them, and when it works, you'll be amazed how it transforms you and transforms others. And you become so confident about yourself. You don't doubt yourself, because there's an absolute knowledge on your fingertips. It is something that is within you which you should achieve. Of course, for this you should know that so far you have not known, so you have to know. As long as you have this attitude, it would work out. I cannot force, Sahaja Yoga cannot force on anyone self-realization. It cannot be forced. It has to be asked for. Unless and until you knock the door, it won't work out. It works out for people only who really want it and who want to become self-realized. As a result, you don't have any responsibilities. It's only the responsibility of the all-pervading power that does everything for you, that looks after you, that guides you. and takes you to the right places, to the right situations, and guides you in such a manner that you are amazed. How is it? How is it working? How is it working out? There will be no meaning left to any miracles. But these miracles are not like taking out a diamond and things like that. But it's a miracle how the circumstances will change, how people will change, how you will become such a joyous, lovable personality. On this subject, I don't know how many lectures I have given, and there's no end to it. But I would say that you should take your realization and go into our programs, whatever they have, and grow into it. Because you take some time to grow, like a seed sprouts, but it takes time to become a tree. But hardly 1 month at the most. And don't have to pay there also, again I'll tell you. Nothing has to be paid. You just give some time to yourself and it will work out. When you have mastered it, you'll be amazed what you can do. A month at the most. Some people just get it and they don't have to do anything, just they know. But most of the people have to do it. It improves everything, your thinking capacity, in the sense your brains get enlightened. You become a very large-hearted personality. And other things that we think of prosperity and all that, all comes through. This I'm just telling you, like your mother would like to give a castor oil with little chocolate on top. But main thing is you must know yourself how great you are. That is what every mother wants her child to know. That's my only desire is in America, if it spreads. In that manner, it will all be a great thing, a great boon for the whole world. May God bless you.
So with our hands open on our lap to receive, let's feel. Let's let our hands speak. See what we feel. Explore our meditation. And let's dive into this ocean of collective consciousness, into this ocean of peace and protection. By placing our attention and keeping it there over our head, because it's beyond our thinking, in a thoughtless state, very relaxed. If it keeps dropping and thoughts are coming, you just say, not now. Bring your attention right back on top of your head. And through music, which really bypasses the thinking process. And if you like, you can see the images too. Otherwise, you close your eyes. Let's see what we feel. Let's work a little bit on our right side. With our right hand open, it's easy to remember the side of our body that needs help. That hand stays open to receive, to clear. We may not always be right-sided. We may sometimes use our right side, sometimes use our left side too much. But today we learn a little bit to focus more on the right side and give it attention, especially if we feel stressed, if we feel we're running the rat's race. We think of the hamster wheel. Where's the hamster really running the faster he goes? So let's just stop for a moment so we can feel ourselves again. And then maybe all these things don't look so bad and so difficult. And how Mark said, we just surrender. So once again, we keep our attention on top of our head. We can also keep it on the chakra level that we're working on in a very relaxed, detached manner. Let's start with our left hand at the bottom of our torso, where the torso meets the leg. And this is a Swadhisthana, and it belongs to the liver as well, because the Swadhisthana really rotates around the Nabhi chakra, the third energy center. So here at this point, we can say a very simple affirmation. I'm not doing anything. You do everything. And we say with you, the Mother Kundalini, because she's all knowing, she's all loving, she knows exactly where to work. We can ask that she works on our right Swadhisthana. So if we are overusing this particular center, means we're planning too much, we're thinking too much, sometimes even we're too creative, too much from the mind. So let's give ourselves a break. I'm not doing anything, you do everything. Take that weight off your shoulders that you're in charge of everything and that you're actually doing everything. Mother Kundalini, I'm not doing anything, you do everything. The attention on the Swadhisthana. Let's bring our hand up to the liver that feeds our brain whenever we think with food for the brain cells. It's too much work for the liver, sometimes gets exhausted and really heats up. So let's cool our liver. And it's also where our attention sits. If we find our attention fidgetive and our eyes constantly wandering and we cannot concentrate on anything at all, we cannot even follow a conversation, and we can work on our liver. You can say, Mother Kundalini, please steady my attention. Please steady my attention. And let's place our left hand on our right heart. We have a right heart. This is the seat of feeling responsible, which can be a good thing, which is a good thing. But if we feel over-responsible, We don't only bother ourselves, very often also bother other people. So let's just have our attention on our sense of responsibility and get that balanced. Maybe we can say something like, Mother Kundalini, let me not be feeling over-responsible. If this happens to be the case. And then we switch over to our left heart, because the left heart gets exhausted if I'm overusing my right side. Shri Mataji very often talks about heart attack happening to people who are just too right-sided, too overactive. And as we know, this is where the spirit resides, and we can identify here with the spirit rather than our body, our mind, our plans, or our emotions. So let's remind ourselves truly who we are. Mother, I am the spirit, the pure spirit. Mother, I am the pure spirit. We can also say, come into my heart. Open my heart. And let's place our left hand on the right shoulder, between the right shoulder and the neck, and the right hand now back open on our lap. We can turn the head a little bit to the left. And at this point, this is a seat where, at that stage of our evolution, we start communicating with other people. It's collectivity, quality of collectivity. And obviously speech is so important to be collective. So how do we speak? If we have a tendency to speak very harsh, this center will block. Harsh, dominating, ugly words. So here we can just say, Mother Kundalini, please make me diplomatic and speak sweetly. Mother Kundalini, please make me diplomatic and help me speak sweetly. May I be sweet to others. Now, when the right side is crossing over on the forehead to the other side, as Mark said, the ego is here on the left. And the ego tells us, I'm doing everything, right? So let's understand that if we humble down, that helps with our ego and that helps with not feeling so right-sided. Let's just humble down and witness situations with the knowledge that we're not really doing anything. So here we can say, Mother Kundalini, please remove this ego. Help me to humble down. So let's take our right hand and go back to our top of our head and press down our Sahasrara, which is the crown center here. Now let's press down here and we give it a nice massage with our palm. Beyond the thoughts, the point where we integrate into this collective conscious. You can say, Mother Kundalini, please, please establish my self-realization. Give me this yoga. Yoga means union. Give me this union with this all-pervading power. Let me feel this union. And we can slowly raise our hand and see if we feel this coolness coming out, what we will refer to as vibrations. So let's stay up there, and I'm going to sing a song for you. We're going to show you a video footage of a river where we love to meet in Italy. There's a place where we meet. Shri Mataji came there many times, and all the yogis would sit, however cold the weather would be, we would sit there on Borbera river and soak our feet in ice cold water, just foot soaking, like we just did. And all the heat would go, all the worries would go, and we'd just laugh and be joyful. So we show you this footage, and I'm going to sing a song that is actually written many, many years back by such a sweet yogi from Austria who, when I was a 19-year-old newbie and I knew nothing, and I was all new, and we didn't have a mentoring system as such, but he was always there for all of us. He's called Wolfgang, and he was so patient and so loving and so sweet, and helped all of us, every single one of us at one point for sure. And he wrote this beautiful song called Cool River, which popped in my mind when we were discussing to do the right side and the liver. And I thought it's such a lovely song about seeking. And maybe we can, I don't know, in my mind, I was just thinking the cool rivers, you know, like how the Kundalini flows up and trickles upwards like a river, and then like a river delta, it flows into the ocean of collective conscious. So maybe he was referring to something like that. But I don't know, I could just sing the song. I hope I do it any justice. And you all enjoy in your thoughtless awareness. You can close your eyes as well if you want to, or you just enjoy the river images.
'Cause I found you at last. My life is turning to its best, and the tears of joy are trickling down my eyes. And I never wanna change again to the life I've lived before. All these useless habits and useless fears that you have taken away from me. Na 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 na
So much, Sita. It was incredible. So purifying, that river. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about using the photograph. You've seen Shri Mataji's photograph quite often in the program, and you might be wondering about it. We can feel vibrations from the photograph. It's like your inner being is resonating to it, like a coefficient. So the way you can set it up, we're going to have in the resources, you can download a photograph, and you want to put it in a nice a light colored frame. And you can just find a nice, peaceful, calm, soothing area of your home that you like to go to again and again for meditation. And we always cut some fresh flowers, or you can get them at the shops, and put flowers there and a lighted candle. And of this nice cloth, you can do anything. You can put a little, even a little like lace or anything that makes you feel really at home. And so you would sit with your hands open and upright, and you can face the photograph. And we were talking about clearing the right side. One of the best things you can do is just look at the dot on Shri Mataji's forehead for a minute or so, and then close your eyes and just keep your hands open and meditate like that with the photograph. And it really helps so much, and especially in the beginning. But you've got to experiment with it yourself. The photograph does have much stronger vibrations. So, and we'll show you those. So now I'm gonna show you some resources and do some announcements. And then after that, we're gonna welcome back our presenters and I hope you can join us for that. All right, so this is the Let's Meditate for 21 Days at sahajayoga.org. So let's take a look at the resources. So all of the programs are recorded here, so you can find those if you want to go back and review, or if you missed something, you can get the recordings. So let's go ahead and take a look at today, day 8, and we'll click on that. And then you see you have your resources there. You have your ice treatment. So it's all neatly put in each one of those days. You have your resource guides for each day. And then another thing that I mentioned was the photograph. So we have this beautiful color one, or you can use the black and white photograph that shows all of the chakras. So you can decide what you want to download, and you can frame those. All right. So there you have it. So please avail yourself of those guides. So I was going to say so you can join the WhatsApp group on that website too. So the WhatsApp group will have some daily messages, inspiring messages. and then and each one of the handouts. So you saw the ice treatment. And then can we show the candle? Because tomorrow we're going to be doing our left channel. So we'll be clearing the left side. And when you clear the left side, you can really feel your heart opening, and you feel that peace and that joy from the heart. So it's really important to keep the left side clear. So we'll be learning some techniques about that. And then the candle treatment, it's nice if you can get a candle holder that has a little tray at the bottom, because it can catch any wax, because we do move the candle gently a little bit. So bring your candle and a candle holder. And of course, every day we do the foot soak. And so that's part of the, both left and right side clearing, as you know. So that'll be introducing a new thing, which is the workshop. So the workshop is where you can work with a yogi, and we work on clearing the chakras together. So another thing I'm going to mention too, in the chat, you can sign up for the mentor program. So the mentor program is you can fill up your form, and next week we'll be matching you up with mentors, and that you schedule with the mentors. And again, Sahaja Yoga is always free, so the Sahaja Yoga practitioners will never charge for those sessions. Just a reminder on that. All right, so that wraps up the announcements, but also the main part of the program. So if you need to jump off, you can do that if you like, but please stick around with us. You can either join us, I'll welcome back our presenters, and join us in the discussion where they'll share some of their experiences that can help you get some insight from people that have been practicing a long time. But you can also ask to go into a breakout room. So you can do that now in the chat. If you want to do that, you can request a breakout room if you want some deeper questions or personal questions answered, or if you need some review with the yogis, you can do that. Okay, so with that, that's the end of the main part of the program. So we'll go ahead and have Sia and Mark come back on. All right, is everybody chilling out now?
Chill.
Totally chill.
Cool.
It's amazing, isn't it, how these elements it makes a huge change inside. It's very purifying. All right, so I would like to introduce Nisha, because she's come on here. So Nisha, why don't you just introduce yourself? Let us know where you're from and just a few things about yourself so people can get to know you.
Hi, my name is Nisha, and I had been in New York since last 23 years, but born in India, took to Sahaj when I was pretty young in India, and I had been practicing Sahaj since then.
Great. Well, we're really pleased to have you on, and we'd love to hear your experiences. So to begin with, we're going to ask each of our folks on here how you found ice treatment. How did you find it change things, or do you have a particular experience you want to share with us? Why don't we start with Mark? Do you want to talk? I know you've already talked a little bit about ice and how much it's benefited you, but do you want to share a little bit more about it and expand on that?
Sure. Ice is my friend. So I almost every night I do a cool foot soak before I go to bed, and that really seems to help a lot. I fall asleep in minutes. A lot of times I tell my wife I'm going to bed, I go in there, I lay down, and she's like, "You're asleep already." And so I normally sleep really well, but occasionally there'll be some big project at work, or maybe some home project or something going on that's kind of, have that tendency for thinking and planning, right? I'm an engineer by trade, I guess. And so occasionally I will wake up after 3 or 4 hours of sleep and that little thing pops into my brain. And the mind starts going. I can't stop it. I mean, normally I don't have insomnia, but there's times that I know if I just lay in bed, I'm just going to lay there for an hour or two and not be able to sleep. So I'll get up. I go to the refrigerator, pull out an ice pack, and I tuck in my pajama tops into the bottoms and put it in the waistband. And then I just roll over onto my right side. And so the ice pack's between, the mattress and my right side. And every time within about 10 minutes or so, I fall back asleep. And if I don't do that, I'm going to be awake for hours and just be a wreck the next day. So it really, really works. And I think as you get to know your subtle system better, you'll discover things that work for you, and it's really a godsend, especially like on business trips and that. Sometimes you get jet lagged, or you're sleeping in a strange place, or you've had a long day and you're tired but you can't sleep, and put on the ice pack and just really, really puts me to sleep.
All right. Thank you, Mark. And I know there's a lot of people out there who probably do struggle with maybe insomnia or sleep problems. I know I find it really hard to sleep in hotels, so great tip. All right. So Nisha, do you want to share a little bit about ice treatment and how that's benefited you, or an experience you've had that was extraordinary with the ice?
Definitely. As I said, I lived in New York for the last 23 years. So catching up with the space, running around, and having a leading and hectic life, as well as being in IT, most of the time what happens is that you are thinking, overthinking. And the ice treatment used to really help me, just putting it on the liver. It used to slow down my thoughts. And what I had done is, like, at work sometimes you can't really put an ice pack on the liver, but I used to take a chilled water, a glass of water, and just hold it with your hands as tight as you can. And that also really helps. This is a practical way to cool down your liver. And ice foot soak. Ice foot soak also helped me a lot. Another thing, what I have seen is that during the winter, or when you have these sinus problems, when we have runny nose, just a runny nose, not the mucus, but the runny nose, that is because of our liver, overheating of our liver. That time, if you can ice your liver and the back of your right heart, just what Sia showed you on the right heart, but on the back side of your right heart, it really helps.
Wow, great tips. Yeah, thank you. I guess a lot of people don't know about that runny nose is an indication of liver.
Yeah.
For reminding us of that. And necessity is the mother of invention, right? If you don't have anything else, grab a cold water bottle. Yeah. All right. And Sia, how about sharing with us about ice?
Well, I think Mark and me share a friend. So ice is also my friend. And without ice, yeah, I definitely need ice. I'm more on the speedy side, as you may have guessed. And with all that bubbling comes sometimes also sleepless evenings. Not often, but I must say, what I tried once, Mark, also is when it just comes from the mind and it doesn't stop with the thinking. So it's not just the liver that feels hot. And after a while, you actually do feel the liver hot sometimes, isn't it? You literally feel the organ getting hot. So sometimes when the mind just doesn't stop, I even put it on my pillow and fell asleep on the ice pack on the ego. It worked really fast, and I mean, it's maybe not ideal. Maybe a doctor would say, don't leave an ice pack there for too long, but too late. I already fell asleep. So yeah, I have used it like that too, but I can only recommend. It's just so simple, isn't it? So simple.
Yeah, I mean, people spend a lot of time studying different ways
Yeah,
to
or
fall asleep,
medication and things like that, when you
sometimes-
could just take an ice pack.
Kerry, I just want to add one more thing. Ice pack is not necessarily you have to do in meditation. You can do it any time. This is for all the seekers. Like if you feel that you're worked up, you can just take the ice and start putting. You don't have to be in meditation, because this is more like physically cooling down your right side.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's an excellent point. And also, like, sometimes when we're at in a work environment,
Yeah.
we notice it, right? Great shares. Thank you, everybody. So the next thing I wanted to ask about, which probably a lot of people want to hear about, is your experience with the photograph, meditating with the photograph. Like, maybe you can talk about your first time, or maybe you weren't sure how it would work. Or so, Mark, you want to talk about using Shri Mataji's photograph in meditation? Oh, I think we're on mute. There you go.
There we go.
Perfect.
Yeah, I had a really extraordinary experience using Shri Mataji's photograph, but before I do, I just want to give a little bit of a background. So the first night when I went to the public program in Seattle with Shri Mataji, I did feel some heat and cool coming off the top of my head, but it was kind of subtle. And I remember Shri Mataji saying, treat this like a scientific experiment. And if it works out, you should accept it. It's okay, deal. You know, because I'm by nature a skeptical person. But I really wanted this to happen, but I wanted it to be real. And, you know, in the beginning, using Shri Mataji's photograph, I wasn't entirely comfortable with it. I have to be honest. And after that first night of getting my realization, I didn't feel anything for 5 weeks, nothing at all. And I was meditating twice a day, and I contacted the local center, and they had me foot soaking and you know, working on me and all this. And then after 5 weeks, I had this amazing experience with my kundalini. It came to the top of my head like a tornado, and I was like, wow, this is what I read about in books. This is real. This is, you know, the skepticism just kind of went away. And I felt very comfortable using Shri Mataji's photograph at that point. And then after about 3 or 4 months, I woke up one morning and I had this really, really bad sore throat. It was literally just burning. It hurt to swallow. It was just this horrible sore throat. And so I went down to this room I had dedicated for my meditation, and I used the bond-on treatment, right? So I bond on my throat. I put my left hand out to Shri Mataji's photograph, and I started doing this bond on. I think, you know, bond on like 16 times or something. And then I just held my hand over my throat, about an inch or so away. And all of a sudden, I felt this just rush of cool breeze coming up my left hand and tremendous heat coming off my right. And so I just stayed in meditation like this for, I don't know, 5-10 minutes at the most, maybe. And all of a sudden, I wasn't feeling anything on either hand. And I put my hands down, and my throat was just 100% cured. No sore throat. It went from just horrible, horrible pain to being completely cured. And that's when I realized that there really is vibrations involved here that are very real, very, very powerful. And I'd had a couple after that first year, I had a couple other kind of somewhat miraculous healing experiences like that. But I also want to emphasize that, you know, Sahaja Yoga is not a health clinic. It's a spiritual clinic. And if we do have health problems clear up, it's for sure it's a byproduct of the spiritual nature and the vibrations flowing in that. But our health issues don't always get better. A lot of times they do get better, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get cured. It could be, could not, but the thing is, there's these spiritual riches that we get with our kundalini and just all these other blessings that we get in our life from this, that's really, I think, we keep that in mind as our goal, even though these little blessings and miracles happen to us.
Great. So maybe we can all do that right now. Maybe we can open our right hand and we can just feel our Vishuddhi. We can give it a few bandhans. You can go slowly at first. Maybe close your eyes and just notice if you can feel some of that coolness swirling around. And then we can stop and just hold our hand right in front of our Vishuddhi. And just relax your shoulders. And we can just ask the Mother Kundalini to help us feel our connection to the whole universe, to nature and all of our fellow creatures. Breath. And we can just relax our hands again. And that center really helps us to feel things in our hands once it's clear. Lovely. All right. So Nisha, you want to talk a little bit about the photograph? How did you find it in the beginning?
Sure. Definitely. First of all, you all can experience, if you get the photograph and if you meditate in front of the photograph, you will see the difference, the enhancement in your vibrations or your cool breeze. So don't take our words, believe in yourself. This is what had happened with me. Two things I can tell you. Once, when I started Sahaj, photograph was easy because it was in India. I started meditating with the photograph. Everything was all good. But at some time when I was in college, sharing the rooms with your friends, it was difficult to keep a photograph. And I started feeling that there was a big difference in my energy. I could feel that I could not feel that joy of meditation. And then I used to long for going to the meetings, our Sahaj meetings. And after the meeting, I used to feel like that bubbliness, that joyousness, that I want to do something tonight, because that's that age. So that was the biggest thing. And then later on, in my school, I used to work in IT, but in education system. So I always kept Shri Mataji's picture on my desk and started with health and wellness class. And in that, I started teaching meditation. I used to teach meditation bi-weekly. Bi-weekly we had classes. And there were some students who used to just come to my office and say, we want to feel the love of your mom. And they just would sit there and they said, no, Ms. Joshi, we just want to look at her picture. I did not tell them anything about meditation, nothing. We were just meditating, but they used to ask me who she is. And I used to say that she's my spiritual mom. And that's how they felt the difference. And they all felt the difference, because the thing is that sometimes they used to say, oh, I have my AP exam. Can I just come and sit with you? And the only thing was that they felt like some fear is taken away. with that photograph.
Wow, amazing. Thank you for sharing that. How about Sia? Do you want to talk a little bit about, about the photograph, why we use it, or what your experience was in the beginning?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So when I came to Sahaja Yoga, I was 19 years old, and my mother had passed away maybe a year before, and my brother was already meditating. So he was meditating in his room. I was always wondering, what's he doing there? And then one day I said, can I come? He said, yeah, okay, come. So I came to a program. And that was the first time I was introduced, and I was definitely staring at the photograph, and I didn't understand why there has to be a photograph for sure. For a long time, I really didn't understand why there has to be a photograph. I asked also the same question, but with the whole meditating, with the whole everything, it was never disconnected from the photograph. Otherwise, it would have just been a theory on chakras and something that sounds like a lot of stuff that I've heard, but it was always connected to Shri Mataji. Obviously, what we did whenever we go to meditation, it was one, the photograph, the meditation, the people, the feeling, it was all one. But I didn't really mentally understand it for a very long time, for sure. So I don't think it's an easy thing, and I think it's something everybody has to just figure out themselves. Which you may not want to hear, but I do recall, now that you're asking, I recall one situation. There was an apartment in Vienna where a lot of yogis lived together. And I was a student. I lived in a student hostel with everything that comes with it, collective shared rooms, smoking in the corridors and parties and whatever it was. And every time I went to this place, it was like a haven of peace, the scent, how it smelled of flowers, of incense. And it was just always like you went there just to recharge, and you go back to, your little hell or whatever that was. But I do remember once I was allowed to stay over. And so stay over meant there was like, bunk beds and maybe 6 people in a tiny room. And I was given a mattress on the floor. Great. And I remember sleeping there, and there was this massive photo of Shri Mataji and this candle overnight burning in front. And I was lying there on this mattress on the floor. And it was the most comforting, the most amazing feeling. I felt like I'm really looked after. It was like I felt wrapped into this bubble of love, and there's this bubble of cotton wool of comfort and love, and the vibrations. That's how I felt. It was just this nicest sleep I ever had, the most comfortable, amazing experience there on the floor in this small room with the bunk beds. Just simply in looking up at Shri Mataji's face, and I thought she was looking down. And maybe sometimes you look for messages. Sometimes you feel you get messages, or you get a smile. I don't know. That's the experience I had. But, as Nisha said, is something, it's undetachable, obviously, of all of Sahaja Yoga and the meditation, but everybody has to figure out. And yeah, that's maybe my story.
Thank you. I can visualize that whole thing, It just creates such a nice atmosphere. It's so wholesome, right? And
Wholesome, yeah.
I think everybody feels that too when they enter the program. I hope everyone's starting to feel that when, you hear the beginning and the mantras, and it just, immediately you feel like you're going into that meditation. And a lot of it is because we're sharing that image, and it's resonating with our inner being. But as you say, it's, we're all our own guru. We're our own masters, so we have to, do the experiment, like Mark was saying. It's a hypothesis until it's true for you inside, right? So
it's important that even if you do the 21-day course, that eventually you do go and see if there's a center that you can go to and meet the people. It's actually amazing how much we can feel already online, right? It's crazy how much comes across on the computer screen. We don't have the instance, we don't have, and it's still, we can grasp it, but it's still another step to see.
Yeah, even that sense of collectivity and community is just,
it's true.
We're on this field of awareness together, and it's truly extraordinary. So where are we now? 7:20? What does that mean? I don't know. I lost track.
That's the plan, right? Mark, tell her about plans.
Oh,
Just don't get attached to the plan.
I mean, it's ending, but we have also tomorrow, and I hope everyone feels like they feel very welcome here, and you can ask questions in the break rooms. And tomorrow we're having this really wonderful workshop, so please come to that. So that ends the program with our presenters. Thank you everybody so much for coming on here and being with everyone. Tomorrow, again, when we clear out our left side, we can really feel that love and that nurturing. So we're going to clear the left side channel with the workshop tomorrow. So please join us, and remember your candle and your candle holder. So let's just go ahead and keep our attention at the top of our head with our hands open, see how we feel. If you're still thinking a little bit, you can watch the dot on Shri Mataji's forehead, the bindi, for a moment, and then just close your eyes. And just bring your attention to the crown chakra at the top of the head. Watch your thoughts from that place above your head. Just witness the thoughts.